This is Dan Schwellenbach with the Military Mortgage Bootcamp here with this week's Realtor Recon. And this week I want to go over one of the questions that gets asked a lot is what does it take for someone to be eligible for the VA loan? Now obviously they have to have served in the military, and one of the things that we've got here is the different war times and peace times since World War II. So we've got them all mapped out here, the different times, and these are the dates that are associated with it, and on the far right-hand side is the amount of days that need to be served in order for them to have the eligibility. So we'll start with World War II, and we're not going to be working with too many that are in that time frame, but they have to have served for 90 days. And then we go to the peacetime, which was after that, before the Korean War, from 2647 to 62650, and that was 181 days, okay, because they considered that peacetime. Now then the Korean War started from 627.50 to 131.55, and that was 90 days that are required for time served. Okay, then post-Korean War we have 181 days, so that goes through 8/4/64. And then after that, then we got into the Vietnam War, which went up until 5/7/1975. And anybody that served in the Vietnam War, then that's again 90 days. So after that, we have two different time frames for post-Vietnam, and that's because of, it was kind of still close to wartime and the uncertainty. So from 5/8/75 to 9/7/80, it was 181 days that were required to be served in order to get your eligibility. And then after that, the post-Vietnam from 9/8/80 to 8/1/90, it was 2 years. So that was, more considered peacetime, even though they still called it the post-Vietnam. And then after that started the Gulf War from 8/2/90, and that's ongoing, so they haven't put an end date to that. So anybody in that time frame, it's going to be a 2-year time period, unless they served overseas and were actually in the conflict, then it's going to be 90 days. So it all depends on what they did during their time in the military. And then after, the other things that we want to consider are the active reserves and and then the National Guard as well. And with them, we always require that they're in for 6 years, and that they also have done all their weekends and everything that's required of them. And if they do that, then they get their 16 points. So again, we can go back to the certificate of eligibility to determine if they've completely served that. Now, the other two things that could give somebody the eligibility is if you had a spouse that was in the war, and then something happened either during the wartime where they were killed in war, or if they come back and something that happened to them while they were there was ongoing and they eventually died from that, then there's going to be no requirement for that. The surviving spouse will be eligible for the VA loan as long as they remain unmarried. And then last one is the prisoner of war and missing in action, and anybody who has been in that designation for 90 days or more, they're going to get their eligibility. But again, we're always going to go back to the certificate of eligibility. So that's the first thing that I'm going to ask anybody that comes to me is, do you have a copy of your certificate? If they don't, I can get that for you. So don't worry about that. That's something that we can handle for you on your behalf. So any questions on this, please give me a call. I'll be more than happy to go through it and help anybody that you know that did serve in the military, because the VA loan, by far, the best loan out there for them 99% of the time. So thanks for stopping by this week for the Military Mortgage Bootcamp, Realtor Recon.